Guys, and welcome back for another video. Today I am going to be doing another little adorable top from Ellie and Mac. So this is the third video in a video series where I'm going to be making a little capsule of baby clothes for a baby shower that I'm going to. These clothes are not baby clothes. They do range from size 12 to extended sizes. These are all Ellie and Mac patterns. So they're all very easy, but we will be making them in tiny sizes today. So this is the raglan tee. This is the first one that I made. So there's a video for this. And then this super cute Be Rad hoodie that I just made in the second video. So again, I will have links to these two videos in the description if you want to check these out. But today we're going to be doing the book club top, and I'll try to have a photo so that you can check out what exactly that is. I have all of my pieces cut out already. The great thing about Ellie and Mac patterns is that they do have wonderful patterns. They have projector files. They have amazing instruction. So you should be able to grab the pattern and be able to figure all that out. And once you do, you can meet me over here and we can sew this up together. But I'm going to be taking a page out of the Diana Austin playbook. She is the one who does the videos for Ellie and Mac, and she usually has her ironing board and iron in front of her with her machines behind her. So we're going to do that today. I'm really enjoying the just hang out sewing with you guys, and who knows, maybe I'll turn these into lives in the future. So this one has a lot of pieces. As you can see from the photo, it has a sort of chevron detail on the chest as well as the sleeves if you wish to have that. So I'm going to be doing sort of color block. We have this really cute cotton lycra with a stripe. We have orange for a punch of color, and then a nice blue. So we have the sleeve already. We have two sleeves. So we're not gonna do anything with those just yet, or maybe we will. Okay, so the first thing I think we're going to work on is we're going to take the bottom of our shirt, and it sort of looks like this V shape, and we are going to lay it flat on our surface, and then we're going to get the piece that should be here. So that is going to be my stripe, and I'm going to place that with the right sides together. Now, as you can see, it looks kind of weird, but we're going to sew the one side, and then once we get to that point, we're going to kind of go whoop like that, and then sew up the other side. And then once that's done, it'll press nicely. So have your iron ready to go. I'm going to be using my Olizo Smart Iron. I have a link for that in the description. Today I'll be using two sewing machines. I'll be using my Brother 655D, which is my serger, and then my Cover Stitch 2340 CV. If you're interested in getting any of these types of machines, I'll have links down below for them. The 655D isn't very popular, but they're it's very similar to the 1034D, which you can buy at like Walmart and stuff. So really good entry-level machines if you're looking into getting into garment making. I'm not using my sewing machine today, but if you're interested, it is the Baby Lock Presto 2. Okay, so we have to get our clips together. So like I said, anything that I use, I'm going to have in the link in the description down below. If you do use any of those links, I, one, appreciate it, and two, it just goes to help support this channel and to help me make more videos for you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip the one side, and we will do the other side at the sewing machine. So we have one, and I'll take the other piece. There's the front and the back, I think is the same. And then we'll take the other chevron piece, and it looks like this, but this is the way that it's going to be. So this is the seam that we are sewing. So we're going to clip that. Okay, so that's ready to go. I'm going to prepare my sleeves as well so that we can kind of batch sew. This is the way that I prefer to do it, just so that I'm not like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But you do whatever you feel comfortable doing. So we have our sleeves laid out, and again, we're going to do the same thing. We have our little chevron piece, turn it upside down, line up the one side, and once that's all sewn together, then the arm kind of curve will appear, which is kind of cool. And we'll do the other one. Okay, so we have the orange pieces are going to be the neckline, the front and back, and then we have these little tiny pieces, and that's going to be the top of the sleeve. And then one more thing is going to be the neckband. So I'm going to take these sleeves and put them in my little basket so I know what's ready to sew. And I have my iron already heated up. I'm going to put the short sides of my band together and clip the short side, and then we will go ahead and sew that. But before I do that, I am going to fold it in half lengthways, and we're going to give that a good press, sort of a memory crease, because once it's sewn, it's a little bit more difficult to do that. So I kind of like to do that first. And we're going to give that a press. When you're working with knits, steam, steam, steam. All right. So you can leave that to let it cool. If you let it cool, then it will really hold its shape. And then again, we'll just kind of open up the fold, put those right sides together, and sew up the short side. If you're using a cotton lycra or a fabric that you can't tell what is the right or wrong side, typically when it comes to these types of fabrics, if it curls towards the right side of the fabric. So just keep that in mind, and that's kind of a general rule with most knit fabrics. So let's go over to the sewing machine and sew this stuff up. So we're going to sew along this edge. And then we're going to take the underside. I'm going to stop myself. Okay. I think what we're going to do is we went right to the corner and veered off, and then we will go to the other side and sew towards that V again. And we'll do this again. So we're just sewing it to the center. When we get to the very center, we're going to veer off the large fabric. I don't want to cut that fabric. All right. And then go to the other side. Just like that. Try to make it nice and flat. Go straight to that corner. Yeah, we're sort of mitering that corner. And I think that looks really good. Go ahead and do the sleeves now. And I'll do the sleeves in the same way. Okay, I figured out a good technique because this is a little bit interesting. So this is what we're going to do. So I'm putting in the one side and I'm working from the side always. Okay. And sewing. When we get to the corner or the tip, I'm going to take that fabric and fold it this way. Perfect. I knew there was a trick and I was like, what is it? And then we'll go back the other side. Other way. And then that's how it's gonna look. Okay, so now we're going to take all of our pieces and I'm just gonna press my seams down. They look so cute though. Same with the shirt. Pieces. Kind of press them down. And if you wanted to do a little top stitch on the outside to keep the seams down, you can totally do that. Just adds some nice detail. Now, if it's not perfect, don't worry about it, okay? Don't even worry about it. Mine's not going to be perfect. Yours isn't going to be perfect. But that's okay. It's all learning. My sleeve, this one sleeve, is not super cute. That point is going to be a little tricky, you know? It's okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do next is we're going to put the top of our bodice block on now. And we have the two pieces. One is going to have more of a neckline than the other side. So one's the back and one's the front. So I would just pick the piece that looks the nicest for it to be the front. Because they're basically the same right now. These two pieces are the same. So I think this one looks the nicest, so I'm going to make that one my front bodice piece. So again, I'm just going to put this here. So remember that this is how it's going to be with the chevron going down like that, and so we're going to sew the one edge. And here is my back. And now that we know that little trick, should go a lot easier now. Okay, so that's that piece. Now we're going to take these two little tiny pieces and there is like a curve in it, and that's going to be the top of our arm side. Arm side just means, actually arm side, I'm not, it could be the opening of the shirt actually. I might be wrong. Okay. And then we'll do the other one. There's the arm curve, and then I think the arm side. I hear people say it and I'm like, what are you saying? But then I learned and I'm like, oh. Wow. We'll just call armhole. Armhole's easier. Makes more sense. Okay. Alright. And I don't think I sewed my neckband actually. So we'll do that now. And do the arm first. I'm going to take my fabric, fold it out of the way, and this might be a little tricky. So I'm just going to use my little tweezers there. Just like that, and then we will take it this way. These pieces are so tiny on the smallest pattern piece. So if you're making this for a bigger kid, it might be a lot easier. Just like that. There. That's looking super cute. Okay, so now we can basically assemble this like it's a shirt. we are going to take our front and back. I'm going to press it one more time. Just press my seams down. And the other one. Just like that. So we're going to put these with the right sides together. And we're just going to sew up the shoulder seams. And this one doesn't have any cuffs or anything, so we will have to hem the end of the sleeve, the cuff. It's not a cuff, but it's, you know what I mean. I'm just going to take this neckband and we're just going to, because we have that memory crease, it's going to be a lot easier to be able to put it, to fold it again. While we're here, we're just going to do the quartering of the neckband. So we just take our neckband and we have it in half. This is where the seam is. We're just going to cut a little notch there, then we open it up, line up the notch with the seam, and we will notch these two sides, and that will just find our quarter points, and that'll just make it easier for us when we go to do the neckband. Just going to give my sleeves a quick press as well, cut off any crazy threads, and just steam the second sleeve. And then we're going to go over to our machine and we will sew up those shoulder seams. Okay, so from here, this is how it is looking. We are going to open it up and we are going to find our corner points. Not our quarter points, but just the top of your sleeve. So just kind of like fold it in half, and we'll use that little notch to line up with the shoulder seam and making sure that your fabric is right sides together. And the way we're going to do this is we're just going to sew the sleeve on to the armhole opening, and then we're going to sew up the side seam and then the, like, all at the same time, which is the best way to do it, in my opinion. So again, drop my scissors. I usually just clip the center seam and then clip the beginning and the end. Okay, now let's sew these up. So with this, I also want to line up my chevron details. So every time you go to a seam, we're going to make sure that that is lined up nice. then it'll all look like it's one, which will be really cool. Now it's coming along. You're able to see what it looks like. How adorable. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're just gonna turn that right or inside out. And we're just going to line up the armpit seams. And this is going to be the same with those other seams as well. So just kind of push your seam allowances to one side, or however you want to do it. And we can just line up the bottom of the shirt. I don't necessarily need to clip the whole thing, but I am going to clip or pin if you're comfortable with pinning. Pin those seams to keep them nicely. All the way down. So again, when I was talking about the cuffs, the bottom of this shirt also will be hemmed. So we will use my cover stitch for that. But just like any knit project, if you don't have a cover stitch, you don't have to use one. You can use your zigzag or stretch stitch on your regular sewing machine. You can leave it raw as well. You can do a lettuce hem on your serger if it's, if you wanted to have a little girly detail. Yeah, not necessary for you to hem fabrics like the cotton lycra, double brush poly, things that don't hem or that don't fray. So now we're just going to go ahead and do up the sides. So now all we need to do is we're just going to snip some threads. There's a lot going on in here. And now we can put on our neckband and we can hem our cuff and the bottom of our shirt. So I'm going to just kind of fold it up quickly. Because I'm using my cover stitch, the cover stitch covers that raw edge really nicely. So I just kind of fold it up like 3/4 of an inch. And then we will press. You can use my my clapper clapper helps to continue to press, as well as allowing it to cool, and it ends up staying nice and crisp. So again, with the cuff, we're just folding it up a little bit, give it a good press and steam. I'll put my clapper over there now. I love this thing. I found it in a thrift shop a long time ago, and I did not know what it was at the time, but it said tailor on it, so I was just like, this is for sewing. And it was like $5, and I was just like, and it's just a block of wood, but it's got like nice, like, you know, nicely sanded, and I don't know, but I really like it, and I use it a lot. I use it with my wovens, I use it with my knits, I use it with making straps, you know, whatever. I just want to, if I can find one, I'll put a link in the description, but it's essentially, if you're using a fabric that can't take a lot of heat as well, you can kind of shoot it with your heat and then put this on. And then you don't have to add additional heat, but then it, you know, kind of holds that heat in there. So now we're going to take our shoulder seams and we're going to put those with the right sides together, and we're going to find their front and back because we're going to place our neckband. Then you take those front and back notches, put them together, and we're going to find the side, and the side is not going to line up with the side seam because it because of the neckband, because it's low, there's more surface area, so you just need to find those shoulder points. So as you can see, like, this is where the shoulder is, but that's where, this is the notch right here, so it's not this, you know, it's not that spot. Okay, so now I'm going to take 4 clips. Oh my goodness, I need 4 clips, and I'm going to take my neckband using the, or grabbing my seam of the neckband. I'm going to put that against the right side of my fabric and clip that. And then we're going to take, you want to make sure we don't twist this. Take the notch that's across from the seam and put that with the front notch of the shirt. So we're only going to be clipping the notches because this neckband is going to be smaller than the whole of the shirt, and we're going to be pulling at the neckband while we sew, and that's sort of going to help the neckband to lay flat, because if not, then it will, if it's not pulled a little bit, it'll end up being like a loose neckband. So you need to pull it a little bit. So if you find that your neckband fits perfectly, your neckband is too long, and that can be because there's too much stretch in your fabric. Sometimes, you know, I've had it where it makes sense, it says it in the pattern, but then because of the fabric that you chose, if there's too much stretch in it or something like that, then you're going to need to cut some of your band off so that you can actually give it a good stretch. So we are going to go ahead, sew the neckband in. We lined those side notches, and then we'll do the cover stitch or your, you know, your stretch stitch, and we'll just hem up the sleeves and the bottom of the shirt, and then we'll be done. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to go to the neckband, and if you have a tag, you can go ahead and put it in that seam, but we're going to get it started. So we have our needles in there, and then we will pull on our neckband And we kind of go to the next notch, pull on the neckband so that it fits, and make sure you're only pulling the neckband and not the actual shirt. Lining up all 3 of those layers. Go over to the next notch and continue. And this is definitely something that's interesting in the beginning if you've never done it before. But once you've done it a few times, then it makes sense. But make sure you practice first, because you are going to ruin some shirts. For sure. Practice on cuffs. I've ruined a few shirts. So make sure you're not making your favorite shirt that you want to wear to all the events. That's why it's good to practice on baby clothes, because it's not so much fabric. You don't feel bad. So I'm going to flip it right sides out, and then we can see how it's looking. Because it's stretched, it naturally pokes up or goes up like that. So now I'm going to use my cover stitch, and we will do the cuffs. And with the cover stitch, we sew from the right side of the fabric. So having it already flipped right sides out is okay. Okay. So I'm just going to start at the side of my garment, and you have to sort of feel, or you can see through the fabric, and we'll begin. And the cover stitch is going to give you 2 nice stitch lines that look really nice. And then we're just going to overlap the seam. Pull up my needles, pull my 2 front threads, lift my presser foot, and then pull it towards the back. And that is how it's going to look. Super cute. And if there's some excess fabric or too much, you can use some scissors and cut off that raw edge nice and close to your stitch line. If it's too much, I would do that, but if it's just a little bit, it's fine. little tricky with the cuffs because they're so little. Okay, so we are done. How adorable is this little book club top from Ellie and Mac? Adorable. If you want to check out the pattern, that link again will be in the description box below. Check out the other videos if you want to see how to make the raglan tee, which is a staple for everyone. They have this in adult sizes as well. And then the bee red hoodie, which is just adorable, and again comes in so many sizes. So I hope that you enjoyed this little series. I would love some feedback, so comment down below if you enjoy this. Give me any ideas of what I could make next. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit that notification bell so that you can be alerted of new and future tutorials. And come over to Instagram and TikTok if you want to you know, connect further. If you have any questions or anything, you can contact me over there. I am quite active over on Instagram, so you can see what I'm doing behind the scenes and all that fun stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye guys.